Greetings, everybody. I'm Adam Abbott, and welcome to our channel, Mystical Being. Um, Today, I'd like to talk to you about some very painful thing that happened to me in 2005. How I fell out of the top of a 30-foot old oak tree. It was about a 30-foot fall. I guess I wasn't all the way at the top. The tree is taller than that. And I'd like to describe as much as I know about what happened and the process of becoming whole again after that happened. Um, well, I like climbing trees, and it's always been fun for me to climb trees ever since I was a little kid, and I love it a lot, and I'm really good at it, and I've never had a problem. Well, a friend of mine who was in a wheelchair and she needed help from her hurricane damage when the three hurricanes slammed through our county in 2004 in Highlands County, Florida, caused us a lot of damage, roofs lost, trees down, stuff like that. And I thought, well, I climb trees, so I can help her, you know, cut off a branch or two that needs to be removed and do a favor for my friend, and everything will be okay because I'm a good tree climber. Notice to everybody who's a good tree climber, cutting trees is not tree climbing. It's way different. Well, I didn't realize that as I'm dragging up the chainsaw on a rope with one hand, climbing this tree without straps to hold me on. And I didn't start using the chainsaw or anything like that. I was just climbing. And I saw this area up at the top of the tree that had all these dead branches. I'm thinking, oh, well, that looks like a nice area that needs to be cleared out. It's not good to have all those dead branches. They'll come crashing down on somebody's head. So I went towards it. And as I started going towards it, I remembered working in my own yard and having a squirrel come out when I disturbed her baby squirrel's nest. And the mama squirrel got right in my face and was screaming, really upset that her baby was either, getting displaced or killed or whatever it was that happened while I was trimming a palm tree in my yard. I just remembered that aggressive behavior of a mother animal protecting its young, and the thought flashed through my head. And this is one of the last thoughts that I remember from what happened next, was, well, that nest up there looks big enough to be for a raccoon. And if a mama raccoon gets in my face, it's not going to be pretty. Because an angry mama raccoon is going to scratch and leap and bite and snarl and do things, going to make me fall out of the tree. So I changed my mind. I said, I'm not going up there. I'm not going to do that. Nobody asked me to do that. And my fun tree climbing day is over, and I had a lot of fun. And I remember I started back down the tree. That's the last thing I remember. The next day, I'm waking up in this room in a hospital, looking out the window, and I see a very colorful, multi-tiered skyline out my hospital window. I'm like, where is this? I've never seen this place before. So immediately I knew to grab the phone next to me and ask for a long-distance line so I could call Clark to find out what happened and where was I. So the operator gave me that long-distance line, and I called home, called Clark, and he told me what happened, that I had fallen out of the oak tree and that I wouldn't let anybody get near me. My arm was broken off to where it was like dangling. I guess you can see on the inside. It was dangling, and I wouldn't let people get near me from the local EMS because they were all just like volunteer, kind of pot-bellied, not medical professionals. And meanwhile, the lady was trying to make a splint to stop my arm from flinging around because it was just dangling from the blood supply and maybe the tendons. So she was trying to make a splint out of a rain gutter, which is not sanitary at all. Well, my bones had already been stuck in the ground, and pieces of the bones were missing when I got to the hospital. Um, Finally, Tampa General came with a helicopter, apparently, and then they were able to calm me down once I saw people in sharp uniforms. Probably they were good looking. Who knows how come I calmed down, but I calmed down. And they must have given me a sedative, put me on the helicopter, and flew me, 70 miles to Tampa General, where they did 10 hours of surgery trying to put my arm back together that they were going to amputate when I went in as John Doe. And I don't know why that happened, because everybody knew my name where they were picking me up, and I had my wallet. So anyway, it was John Doe, and they were going to amputate, but then I guess they saw my gold fillings and dental work and decided, oh, well, chances are we might get paid for this, so let's just put him in surgery. And they spent 10 hours trying to reattach the arm. Anyway, I woke up that next day, and then Clark and our friend Marion came over to the hospital. They start coming every day, and they came that day, and I pulled the sheet back and I looked down. I'm like, well, my leg's broken too, and didn't they do anything about that? And no, they hadn't realized. The arm was such a big emergency condition that they hadn't realized that my femur, where it connects at the knee, was split. And I could tell because it was swollen and it hurt and I couldn't bend it. But apparently, the thing right in front of them that needed the attention, the saving, was this arm. And so at the time, they also took skin off my thigh and they put it here. And over the period of the next 3 years, they had to do multiple surgeries. Well, that day, anyway, they rushed me back into surgery. They put pen in the femur to connect it to the knee better. And my face is all scarred up, like something had scratched me. So I don't know what came out of there. I can't remember it. It was on Raccoon Lane, too. So with the sense of humor of the creator, I would expect that it probably was a raccoon that came out and I let go of and flew off the tree. It probably did attack me. There were no witnesses. Nobody could see it. Somebody saw me flying through the air and hit the ground. That's it. But they didn't see what caused me to do that. And I was conscious the whole time, even though I can't remember it. Jumping around, peed my pants, foaming at the mouth, I guess because of the pain, because I had, broken the leg and the arm and my face and lacerated my liver. Yeah, I have some pretty pictures about that. So anyway, during this whole process, I had to go back for more surgeries and more surgeries. There were 18 orthopedic surgeries total over a period of 3 years. Hardware on the inside got infected, popped off while I was playing the piano, and it bent my arm again. And so they had to take me to surgery and take that infected hardware off because antibiotics can't treat the hardware, and put metal hardware on the outside that come up and stick up through your arm, and they kind of hold everything together. And then you have to wash the little holes where they go down and connect to the bone and keep the holes from getting infected. And meanwhile, I had bone infection, so I had to be a PICC line in twice for 6 weeks because they wouldn't do hyperbarics. I guess they can't when there's metal in your arm. So I had to do the antibiotic route for the infection intravenously, and it was still in danger of losing the arm because of that. But I responded to the medications. The bone infection went away, and then I had the process of walking on one leg and using one arm with a walker. The other arm had like a little crutch thing on the walker that I could kind of hold on to. And so I was able to use this modified walker to get around outside. In my house, I couldn't do. It was too cluttered. There were just trails. So I jumped on one foot everywhere. thank God I had a yoga body, and I had kept myself in a good yoga shape, swimming and doing yoga. And I was able to always get up from the ground on one leg with using one arm. I was always able to hop around on one leg, and that kept me mobile. And my experience with having done all the intravenous vitamin C drips during the AIDS crisis gave me the experience with the dealing with the PICC line, which was even easier, since you don't have to poke your vein every time to drip an IV. It's already there. And but somebody would come and hook that up, like as if I can't do it. But they would come and hook me up, and then I would have my medicine for the day. So that went on for 3 years, and finally they said, well, we can't do any more. So my thumb bends about that much on the left hand. Won't bend because the tendons are all stuck here. And I'm a piano player, so the whole time I was trying to play piano with all this hardware and stuff coming out, and I lost all the nerve feeling in the arm during this process. A lot of it has grown back, but at the time I was just playing with like a dead stick of meat that I couldn't feel. It was like playing with a piece of wood. And luckily it was the left hand, so I could do my running bass lines and give up being able to do octaves and arpeggios with the left hand. And so I was able to still, have fun singing and playing music and writing songs at home, and occasionally playing for others. I like to play music at church, and so I was able to keep doing that, and just healed through all those surgeries. And now they had to put a part of my hip bone over here to complete the ulna, and the radius is never going to be attached, or one of the two. Anyway, this one on the outside of my arm is got a gap there. It doesn't attach to the bone up here. There's a gap. They just left it that way. And then the bone on this side is complete now, thanks to the iliad crest piece they took off my hip, and it works good. And the hip thing grew back, so it's fine too. Thank you, Florida Orthopedic and Tampa General, where the 8th or 9th floor trauma floor. Had a very wonderful time and experience over there, and they were awesome hospital to me. Of course, we've all got our stories about something that went wrong, but not much. Wasn't much that went wrong. One bad night, really, is about all I had the whole time I was there, and one bad experience with the food court, who were making judgments saying I'm not allowed to be out of my room, to be down there shopping for food, and that's not true. They just there's always some mid-level management person that, if they have a pet peeve against you, they're going to try to exercise their wee little bit of power to try to make you submit to their will. And wrong person doesn't work on me, especially with mid-level management types. I know exactly how to go over your head and nullify you. So I didn't want to, but, I had to, because you were trying to deprive me of having my apple a day, which I just recommended in yesterday's video. So an apple a day keeps the doctor away. They don't like it. Go ahead and have your apple, take your 15 minutes or more of meditation, and do some physical activity today. I love you, everybody. Let's keep up the good work. Let's make ourselves better today than yesterday. That's all we can try to do. And if we have failings and fall back into destructive patterns, it's okay. Enjoy them. Don't guilt yourself over them. The next day is a new day. Pick yourself up, brush yourself off, clean it up, eat that apple, do that meditation, do some physical exercise for yourself. And together we will overcome all of this, and we will rise to the next level of spiritual awareness. I love you, everybody. Have an awesome day. Bye.